In this section, we're going to look at data types, and the 4 data types that you need to know, basic data types I say, because you will learn some more complicated ones later, are integer, real, boolean, and although these are 2, I'm going to treat them just as string for the time being because you are in Python and Python doesn't recognize anything to do with character. So I'm going to set each one of these in my diagram. So I started off with set x to 3, then end. So if I delete that and shrink that down a bit, oops, it doesn't help if I do that. Let's move that up. And I'm going to set each data type, then I'm going to lay it out in a program. And you'll begin to see that this starts stretching into rather a large flowchart. So they're all going to be processes. Processes are single statements. So let's just drag out a process onto here, and I can have this one set name to Bob. Or I could have written name equals Bob. As I said before, I prefer to use set name. It's sort of language independent. There's no language that uses it. So drag out another process, and this time I'm going to set pi to 3.1, which is different to the x here. That's an integer, and this is a decimal number, and I'm calling it a decimal here, although in programming terms it has different words for it. And finally a process. See, we're running out of space already, and have this process in here. Whoops, can't spell set. Set valid to false. In fact, I'm going to use a lowercase f for that. So they're 4 programming statements, and I join them together, meaning that I need to do one after the other. And if my program is to sort of match, then they need to be done in this order. I can't change the order because that's my design. However, there's no reason why I can't do them in any other order other than my design. So there is my flowchart for setting the 4 different variables that we are looking here: integer, real, boolean, and character. So that's the integer, that's the string or character, that's the real, and that is the, let's just stretch that down a bit, that is the boolean. Let's make this clear. There we go, that's better. And this is called a sequence as well, because it's just a sequence of statements. There are no loops. We're not going back up, we're not making a decision and going in any direction. We're just going from one to the other. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a look at this in pseudocode. So let's go back to my pseudocode. Let's hope that clears up a bit. It doesn't appear to. Let's get rid of those. Now remember, pseudocode is not code at all. Let's see if that comes back on the screen without blocking it out. Doesn't appear to. Let's see if I can shrink it and set it over this side. There we go. So I've got set x to 3. In pseudocode it looks like that. Set name to Bob. So that would be name equals Bob. Set pi to 3.1. Pi equals 3.1. And valid equals false. So that is the pseudocode. that matches these statements. And the pseudocode, as I've explained before, really is program independent or language independent, so it's going to be different in all of the languages. So I'm going to show you it in Python and run the program, hopefully get no errors. Then I'm going to go through the different programs. If you want to have a look at that code, feel free, you don't have to. It's just there to help you along to understand one or two more things. So that is my pseudocode. So let's combat that in Python. Let's get back to my first. This is going to be a bit awkward. I don't know why it's making a mess of my windows. Let's see if I can get the notepad one up again, my pseudocode. No, it's only doing the web window. Okay, so the way to do it in Python, I've got my x equals 3, name equals Bob, which is a string. Notice it now goes green to tell me that it's a string. Pi equals 3.1 and valid equals, now the only thing is with Python is that true and false, which are booleans, must start with a capital letter. False. There we go, and that turns purple. So if I save that and then run the program, I'm not expecting the program to do anything. It's not printing anything out, but it shouldn't have an error when I run the program. And sure enough, we don't have an error. So as you can see, the pseudocode at this point matches my actual Python code. There's a couple of differences. The Bob is in green here and the false has a capital F. Other than that, it's identical, and that really matches this flowchart exactly. Start, we don't have a start symbol, we don't have an end symbol. Set x to 3, set name to Bob, pi equals 3.1, valid equals false. And I've used the terms set to in these just to make the pseudocode a little bit different. So that's this program in Python. If you want to, have a look at setting them in other languages.